One of the most electrifying strikeouts in baseball history happened yesterday. We had Freddie Freeman, the 2020 NL MVP, versus Anthony Rizzo.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Oh, he struck him out! Look at Rizzo! He can't believe it!
I thought that was a fun way to start the video. What's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We have a lot to talk about today. The Mets failed Jacob deGrom yet again. The play of the year possibly happened in that Padres game, and then Byron Buxton is playing at an MVP pace right now. He is on top of the baseball world. If this is your first time on the channel, we do this every single day, so don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, as well as use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek if you're going to any baseball games or any sporting events anytime soon. Save yourself 20 bucks. Let's go ahead and recap the rest of that Braves versus Cubs game. Why was Anthony Rizzo even in the ball game? Marcell Ozuna starts the offensive party with a home run. Austin Riley, who was kind of quietly having a breakout season, hopefully he keeps up. And starting pitcher Huascar Ynoa goes deep as well. And on the pitching side of things, he goes 5 in the 3rd innings, does not allow a single run, and racks up 9 strikeouts. And I don't mean to say this to poo-poo on Shohei Ohtani, but Ohtani's never done that, so maybe we should start putting some respect on the NL side of things, where maybe, you know, the universal DH is fine, but seeing pitchers hit is still pretty entertaining as well. I can definitely see the other side of the story. I still believe that the universal DH should be a thing. Freddie Freeman and Ozzy Albies, they make it 10-0 in the later innings as Anthony Rizzo comes in to strike out Freddie Freeman. I'm not sure if he did it on purpose, because I truly think that Freddie Freeman had a pretty good cut at that baseball. He just completely whiffed it. So the Braves come away with a 10-0 victory. They are now tied for first place with the Phillies, who we're going to talk about next. The Phillies beat the Cardinals 5-3 as Brad Miller was the hero yesterday in that ball game with a game-tying 3-run home run as Andrew McCutchen and Didi Gregorius give the Phillies the lead. So the Phillies are now tied in first place again with the Braves. They won't lose Bryce Harper. There was a scary moment where he took a 97-mile-per-hour fastball to the cranium, and then immediately after that, Didi Gregorius was hitting the ribs. I know for a fact that Genesis Cabrera was not trying to hit these guys. He is just one of those lefties that has no idea where the ball is going, and I do understand that they're professional pitchers. You probably should know where it's going. Otherwise, you're just going to have to find a different league, because you can't be injuring superstar players over and over. Now, Bryce Harper is going to be fine. If you don't believe me, here's Bryce Harper saying he will be.
Everything feels good. Everything came back good. CT, all that kind of stuff. So, face is still there. So, we're all good.
Joe Girardi came in after Didi Gregorius got hit in the ribs, because ultimately both teams were warned, and Joe Girardi said, "Why are we being warned? We haven't done anything." And this was one of my favorite ejection moments ever. He tosses out the umpire before the umpire tosses out Joe Girardi. This was hilarious, sticking up for his team. I honestly believe that the Phillies are about to go off on a win streak, because if I was a player, that would have got me motivated. I'm going to take a wild guess here and say that the Mets lineup could use some motivating as well, because poor Jacob deGrom. Oh man, he was really good yesterday. Francisco Lindor got booed yet again as Nick Pivetta and Garrett Whitlock. Garrett Whitlock has been fantastic. The Yankees pretty much gave him away for free over the offseason. He has been locked in. They both shred up the New York Mets. Pivetta goes 5 innings, only allows 1 hit, so that is back-to-back starts in which he has only allowed 1 hit. An RBI double from Christian Vasquez. That is the lone run of the ball game, as Jacob deGrom ties Nolan Ryan for the most strikeouts through his first 5 starts of the season. And I cannot believe that I'm saying this, but for the 33rd time in his career, Jacob deGrom allows 1 run or less and does not factor in the decision or get a W. Francisco Lindor gets booed yet again. The Mets are now last in batting average and OPS with runners in scoring position. I mean, what is happening in New York? I know the Mets are booing Francisco Lindor and it's only been 20 games, but they should be booing that entire lineup, because they've been terrible. Let's go ahead and talk about a few NL West teams. We have the Padres beating up the Diamondbacks 12-3 yesterday. Ha-Seong Kim drives in 2 on some pretty bad defense from the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks, but we'll talk about some great defense from the D-backs a little bit later. Manny Machado with a base-clearing triple, and then Cronenworth adds a home run of his own. The Padres keep on scoring as Jorge Mateo. I said that he was going to be the Rookie of the Year in 2020. I heavily missed the mark on that one, but I'm hoping that he can play at an even decent level the rest of the season. It could have been way worse for the Diamondbacks, but Josh Rojas made the Play of the Year so far in right field as he takes away a home run from Fernando Tatis. Now, luckily for Tatis, it really didn't mean anything because it was still a sacrifice fly, so he was 0 for 0 in that at-bat, didn't really do anything to his batting average. He got an RBI, and Josh Rojas, yeah, he kind of saved the game from it being, 15-3 or something crazy like that. The Giants beat the Rockies yesterday 7-3 as German Marquez kind of blew up a little bit in the first few innings by giving up 4 runs. Alex Wood, he has been sensational for the Giants, 6 innings, 2 earned runs, and 9 strikeouts yesterday. Mike Tauchman, he made his debut and made the most of it, going 3 for 4. The only time that he got out was on a bogus strike 3 call, so I kind of felt bad for him. The Giants put up a few more runs, and they stay tied in first place with the Dodgers. They are both 16-9 on the season. We'll talk about the Dodgers in just a second because the Twins, wow, they destroyed Logan Allen. The entire baseball world was watching this because it was the first game of the day. It was on YouTube. Everyone was watching it, and everyone was in agreement by saying Logan Allen needs to be sent to a different league or a different planet because he was throwing BP yesterday. Buxton, he starts it off, and then Logan Allen cannot believe that that ball actually left the yard. Donaldson, Polanco, and Cruz, they drive in 5 more as Mitch Garver has 2 home runs in that game, so I'm hoping for a bounce-back, resurgent season from Mitch Garver because when he's on top of his game, he is one of the better offensive catchers in baseball. Buxton ends that game going 5 for 5. On the season, he now has a .440 batting average, 8 home runs. He's in the top 1% in sprint speed and plays great defense. That right there is MVP production. On the other side, Cleveland first basemen, I'm going to go ahead and throw up this stat right now. They're all-time bad. So they let Carlos Santana go to a rival team, the Royals. The Royals are in first place. Santana is having a fantastic season. Combined, the Cleveland first basemen don't even have half the stats of Carlos Santana. So you just love penny pinching. Actually, I completely hate it. I'm just being facetious. The Marlins beat the Brewers yesterday. Jesus Aguilar has a multi-RBI performance in 6 of his last 8 games and a home run in 5 of his last 6 games. He is now tied for first place in all of baseball with 22 RBIs. Sandy Alcantara is back on track. 7 innings, only 2 runs. And I'm really excited for the future of the Marlins once they call up Blade and all the other prospects that they have. Now, this was one of the worst calls that I've seen in a while. We're going to go back to the first inning. What was this umpire thinking? He called obstruction on the pitcher? Like, how can you even call this obstruction? The runner was clearly going straight. The pitcher was peeling off, and this actually led to a run because Birdie was able to get the third base on this, so just not a good week for umpires all around. I mean, Angel Hernandez was pretty bad, but we're not going to talk about him. The Dodgers blanked the Reds yesterday. Kershaw might mess around and get a few Cy Young Award votes. The only problem is Corbin Burns and Jacob deGrom still exist. Either way, he goes 7 innings, does not allow a single earned run, and strikes out 8 different Reds hitters. The Reds have a top 3 offense, so that's pretty hard to do. Justin Turner and Chris Taylor, they have been monsters to start 2021 as Mookie Betts drives in 2 and the bullpen finally is able to hold a lead because they had an 8-run lead to deal with, so they weren't going to give that away. The Royals beat the Pirates 9-6. The high praise for Mitch Keller might have to start fading away because he was pummeled for 4 runs on 5 walks in just 2 innings. The score was 6-0 in about 14 seconds as Jorge Soler and Andrew Benintendi with some doubles, they put the game out of reach. The Royals are now 9th in batting average and 13 in OPS. Their offense right now is clicking because they were 16th and 17th a few weeks ago. So they are creeping up and up. You do not want to mess with that lineup. They are pretty deep. The Yankees, I mean, this matchup should be banned. Domingo Germán faced the Orioles, and he was lights out. I mean, he's been lights out ever since that first inning in Cleveland where he had a blunder and he gave it 3 runs, but then he went scoreless, and then he was dominant again yesterday. Mike Ford homers. Gleyber Torres, of course, the Baltimore Orioles killer with 2 RBIs as Urshela and Clint Frazier, they hit some home runs. The Yankees are on a 2-game winning streak. Go figure. They're playing the Orioles. I expected this. Steven Matz was roughed up for the first time as a member of the Blue Jays. 8 hits and 6 runs in just 3 innings of work. Josh Harrison has been amazing for the National Nationals, he's up to a 142 OPS plus. Eric Freddie, he spoils George Springer's return to the lineup. 6 innings, only allowed 1 run. And a lot of people are asking me, especially when I stream over on my Twitch, what do you make of the Nationals? I have no idea. They get shut out one day and then they put up 8 runs. Then they get shut out and then they put up 15 runs. So when it comes to Max Scherzer, I think that he's going to be the dog for the rest of the year. I don't know what to make of Patrick Corbin. Heck, I don't know what to make about the Nationals. I really don't. The Rays sometimes get all of their runs in bunches, and yesterday was no different as they scored 2 in the 5th. One of them came on a 466-foot moonshot from Mike Zunino, and 2021 Glasnow was back in business. 7 innings, did not allow a run, and struck out 10. He's up to 56 strikeouts in just 37 innings. That is insane. Kevin Kiermaier made an insane grab in center field, and he does this on a regular basis, and Tyler Glasnow took notice because he said some of this. I'm sure you guys can put the words together. I'm not even going to translate it, but his mom noticed the fact that Glasnow was cursing on live TV, and his mom said, hey, you got to cut that out.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And like I saw too, my mom texted me like, you got to stop cussing on TV, like cover your mouth or something.
And then the final 2 games from yesterday, 4 AL West teams were battling each other. Angels beat the Rangers 4-3 as Anthony Rendon and Jose Iglesias, they drive in all 4 of those runs. And the first inning, Alex Cobb immediately implodes for the Angels, but C-Rod, Chris Rodriguez, dominates 3 1/3 innings of one-hit baseball in relief. You have Rizzo Iglesias coming in to save the game, so they are now just 2 games back of the A's for first place, talking about the Angels. The Astros are 1.5 games back of the A's. They pretty much went from last place to second place in about 4 seconds. They go down 5-2 in the 5th inning, and then the offense wakes up in the 6th and 8th inning. They steal a W from the Mariners. The Mariners only struck out 3 Astros hitters yesterday. I know that sometimes you can get by on pitchers not striking out, but against the Astros, you have to get them to punch out, otherwise you're not going to win. All right, everyone, well, that does it for today's MLB recap. Thank you all so much for stopping by. Again, use code Fuzzy on SeatGeek to save 20 bucks off. And just one more time, let's take a look at Freddie Freeman versus Anthony Rizzo.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Oh, he struck him out. Look at Rizzo. He can't believe it.